Hello and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hi, you're very welcome. This is Reading the Past and I'm Dr. Cat. Now, I don't normally sound like this. I'm quite blocked up in the nose and I've got a bit of a sore throat, but we must soldier onwards so that we can find our historical meaning and read the past. And with that in mind, today I'd like to look at an iconic image of Queen Elizabeth I, known as the Rainbow Portrait. I think this is an absolutely gorgeous image that's rich in symbolism and iconography. So, with that being said, let's go. I find it fascinating that certain scholars have argued that one of the reasons why we find the early modern period so compelling is because of the way that those monarchs engaged in their image making. If we look at their medieval predecessors, it seems that for the most part, medieval kings were quite content to have themselves painted in a fairly non-distinct and almost formulaic way, one medieval king looking much like another. This, of course, is clearly not the case for a Henry VIII or an Elizabeth I, or, for that matter, most other early modern monarchs throughout Europe. Instead, what we see here is people as individual. They have an identity separate from those around them, those that have gone before and those that will come after. And in their image making, it's also a political manifesto. And this has never been more the case than with the images of Elizabeth. Henry VIII is good, but Elizabeth has learnt from the masters that have gone before her. And in the portrait that I'd like to talk about today, this is perfectly exemplified. Let's have a look at the images and icons that are present in the Rainbow Portrait. The Rainbow Portrait is now attributed to Isaac Oliver and dates to around about 1600. We believe that it was commissioned by Robert Cecil, who had replaced his father William Cecil as Elizabeth's chief minister after William's death. We think that Robert Cecil may have commissioned this piece to act as the centrepiece for a series of celebrations that he had for his housewarming on the 6th of December 1602. His new house was Salisbury or Cecil House, and it was located on the north bank of the River Thames, between Embankment and the Strand that is now, close to the modern site of the Savoy Hotel. The Rainbow Portrait now, however, is held at Hatfield House, also a home of Cecil's, although one that was built in 1611, so after this portrait's creation and also after the death of Elizabeth. So there we have some information about why this portrait may have been commissioned and painted. What I'd like to do now is look at the icons that are present within this portrait, the moments that we can decode. We're going to do some close-up work looking at this portrait to see just how Elizabeth's personality, identity, monarchy and even political manifesto is being shaped and laid out for the viewer of this portrait. I think this is a really interesting way to engage with portraits, to almost read them like texts, to look at how a narrative is being shaped by them. And if you agree and you'd like me to approach any other paintings in a similar way, do let me know in the comment section down below. Let me know which painting you'd like me to use this approach on. But with that being said, let's look at some moments that are present in this portrait and see how we can understand them. Perhaps the thing that you will notice first is that swath of orange fabric that encompasses Elizabeth, her silk mantle, covered in eyes and ears. Now, this could have two meanings. It both presents Elizabeth as the watchful, listening, caring mother of her nation, but also potentially implies a threat, that Elizabeth sees and hears all. Perhaps this is a nod to the advanced surveillance network that is at work in England. Perhaps this is a warning to those who look at this portrait, that they are always seen and overheard. Also present is the mask of perpetual youth that's been placed over Elizabeth. In 1600, Elizabeth was nearly 70. In fact, she was only going to live 3 more years, and yet she appears ageless, her skin completely unwrinkled, and as you go down her smooth neck, she has an enormous amount of décolletage being presented. You almost see her full breast. Now this is a mark of her unmarried status and her virginity. The whiteness of her skin is a mark of her youth, her beauty, but also her virginity. This is of course set off by the white lace ruff that she wears and the white edging of her gown. I'm going to link my humoral science video because what this white fabric shows is that her body isn't leaking anything that would stain it. She is humorally balanced. She is both medically healthy but also spiritually sound. On her headpiece is fastened a moon brooch in honour of Cynthia, the goddess of the moon. She is linked to virginity and purity. It is also hinting towards the potential divinity of Elizabeth I, that she is part queen, part woman, part goddess. Her dress, and indeed her very person, is encrusted with pearls and rubies. Pearls are once again a symbol of virginity and also divinity. Jesus is referred to as the pearl of the world. Equally, rubies are seen as being connected or symbolic of the virtuous woman. On the oversized collar of her dress, here we see that she has attached a pendant, which is either a glove or maybe a gauntlet. If it's a glove, it's perhaps symbolic of elegance, her femininity being presented. However, to me, it looks more like a gauntlet, and this presents her martial strength. She is a woman who has the heart and stomach of a king, and a king of England too, which I think is fitting for a painting painted in 1600, so many years after the successful defeat of the Spanish Armada in 1588. On her sleeve is a bejewelled snake holding a heart in its mouth. This is seen as being symbolic, as the snake is a symbol of wisdom, of the fact that wisdom or knowledge or learning has captured the Queen's heart. This is her manifesto, her presentation of herself as a learned, intelligent, educated queen. On her stomacher or bodice are embroidered beautiful English wildflowers, and this again can be read in potentially a number of ways, one of which is that it's a presentation of her as fertile ground, that despite the fact that she is well into her 60s, that she may still be a fertile mother to her kingdom, perhaps even able to produce an heir. It also links her in imagery to the goddess Astraea, the Virgin. So once again, she is playing two sides. She is both a virgin and also potentially a mother. This Latin motto literally translates to, "There can be no rainbow without the sun." Elizabeth is quite literally saying that all of the light that is cast on her court or on her country is hers. She is the sun of her realm and her court. And the rainbow, which she holds in her hand, is a symbol of peace. Her light has brought peace to her nation. The rainbow is also a symbol of peace because of its connections to the Bible. The rainbow is God's promise after the destructive flood. Through this one image, Elizabeth is the sun, she is the peace bringer, she is the military commander, she is the virgin, the mother, the woman, the queen, the goddess. She is divinely ordained, human, but also divine. And I think that this is so incredibly clever, and perhaps is one of the reasons why we find her so fascinating today, that we have a whole catalogue of images with these incredibly detailed and multi-layered meanings behind them. And perhaps this carefully crafted, multifaceted, multi-layered identity shaping also helped to maintain her in her monarchy in very trying times as a woman, unmarried and childless, and Protestant, when the powers of Europe at this time were violently Catholic. I'd love to know what you think of this portrait. How do you read this? Are there any other elements that you think are incredibly important within this portrait that I've missed? Please do let me know in the comments section down below, or come and find me over on social media. I'll be leaving the links in my description box. I hope you've enjoyed this video and found it interesting. If you did, please let me know by liking the video. Please also subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon next to the subscribe button so you get told when I've next uploaded. I've really enjoyed spending this time with you, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next video. I hope you all take care of yourself, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye for now.